I okay. I don't know how long it had been running. It was a PowerPoint presentation that was printed. So I redid everything and updated all the information on it. I wish I could show you. I made like all the membership paperwork now has a theme with blue squares, making it look very professional with very like distinct sections, like with bold titles. Because I remember when I had my new member orientation, it's very overwhelming because you get a lot of paper and we always tell members, and I was told repeatedly, give yourself time. It takes at least a year, but in the beginning, it's very overwhelming. So my goal was to really organize it in sections. And when we do have the new member orientation, we have Billy and I, of course, but we also have members from the committee assist, and we take turns in explaining different sections. And we try to, of course, we try to not make it last over 2 hours, but we try to not go too fast so people don't feel overwhelmed. And we give them, we put all the paperwork in a binder with little dividers. So the new member orientation was all redone. And then the second part is which committee fits you, because the committees are all explained in the roster, but it's like very official language. And 2 years ago, I think the president elect had requested from the committee coordinators if they would describe briefly like what their committee did in more regular words, if I can say. This was during the meeting where we were asking people to sign up for committees, and like this explains it in like almost like a conversational tone. So we include that in there because when new people come, they you know they're excited about joining committees, but you don't know what committee does what. If I can state an example, my experience, the first year I joined the Women's Scholarship Committee, and sometime in the fall, I started receiving emails from, it was for the LYD. And I was wondering why I was receiving these email because I wasn't on the LYD committee. But LYD is Live Your Dream. And yes, that's part of the, so I missed that entire chapter of the women's scholarship that year. So like this section really explains it, but like in more regular words. And then there's a third part at the very last part of this binder. It's helpful tips and information for new members. Again, I tried to organize that in like distinct sections so they can navigate it very easily. There's I highlighted a few things that were like the important things they need to know right from the start, like when they should, when is the deadline to our SVP for lunch. And like we always explain to them that it's not important that you know everything right from the start, but we make sure that they know what to expect in a meeting. Like we explain, we have happy dollars at the end of our meetings. That's explained in there why what exactly what that is. And then the board of directors. And then at the end, we also have a Soroptimist acronym because, you know, we always say SITM and SIA and ROSE and LYD. So there's a part, there's a page towards the end that has the Soroptimist acronyms. And then, of course, we end with the Soroptimist pledge. So the goal was with this was really to reorganize it and make it very, very, not very simple, but make it look not as overwhelming for when they join. Because like the three most important parts of orienting new members, I would say that it would be making sure that they know about the committees and what to expect. And because sometimes a name of a committee doesn't necessarily describe what it does, and we want them to join committees that they will enjoy. And the second thing would be making sure that they know about the important things from the beginning: when to RSVP, who they should call, like the most important things in the beginning. And we always emphasize that they can always ask any member. Everybody is always happy to respond. Um, and then the third thing is it's just making sure that they feel welcomed and that they do not feel overwhelmed right from the beginning. I think those would be the three most important things that we tend to do with new members. And I've also worked on other little projects. Um, the how to be a good Soroptimist, like just friendly reminders if you see a new member, and because some members have been there for a very long time, so they know everybody and they know the names, but sometimes new members tend to be a little bit more. Some are shy, some are not as extroverts. So it was just a sheet, a friendly reminder on how to be a good Soroptimist. And I think this. Any questions? Anything I should add, Holly?
Well, if you guys can see my screen, my face, this is what the beginning of it looks like. And as Lynn said, it has a bold, attractive print to it, saying exactly what it is. And there are things like the tip sheet that are on it that is really invaluable organization structure, making a difference, what we do, how we do it, website information, and this is the tip sheet. You will get this all in your email so you can look at it, inch by inch. Retention, there are all kinds of things that it's covering. And dues, this is the committee section that she was talking about, which committee fits you. To be honest, we use this now when we are doing our committees for the next year. And that way, it's not only the folks who are new, but it's the folks who maybe haven't been on a committee before or just really want to be reminded of what the duties are. Often, I don't know what one committee does as opposed to another. And so it's a helpful tool for all of us, not only those who are being oriented. Anything else you guys want to add?
If you have it, I can share it to the screen if you have it digitally.
I don't. Okay. I don't know if Lynn or Billy have it digitally, but we will send it out.
Okay.
I was holding it up.
This were you? Billy. Thank you.
I was holding it up. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I was holding up the binder and then kind of going to the pages so that you could see how it's all nicely coordinated and what have you. And I think it's been really, really helpful for our new members to have it so organized. And Lynn just did a fantastic job on putting this together.
It is. I mean, it really makes sense. And it's useful where you can, as a new member, flip through and say, okay, this is who I have to call to make my lunch reservation or send in an email. This is where I need to do that. Here are the committees, and it is directed straight to orientation. That's the main tool. But I'm pretty sure that everybody goes back and refers to it a lot when they have it. It's a great tool.
I believe you have a question, Kathy Erickson.
Thanks. I couldn't find the hand bar at the bottom. Anyway, my question is, thank you. This is all wonderful information. When do you do the orientations? And if you only have one person join and no one for 3 months, do you just do that one person?
Yeah, this is Billy. Yes, we try to do the orientation right after we do the induction ceremony. If they're available, we tell them we need probably about an hour, and we do it right after, whether it's one person or three or however many. And they get this binder and with the three sections in it, and they get a roster at that time, and then we go through basically the first section, and then which tells a lot about how Soroptimist, because sometimes people don't even realize that Soroptimist is an international organization. So we go through the breakdown on the international SIA, then the region, and then our club, and show how we're just part of a much larger organization. But yeah, I think that's a good question, and I like to get them all this information just as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think we typically do during business meetings is when we induct them into the club or welcome them into the club, isn't it?
Yes, it's the business meeting when we induct them. I think there was one exception because of a teacher's schedule that she could make it only this one. It was not a business meeting, but ordinarily we induct during the business meeting and then try to meet right after the business meeting out in the lobby and do the orientation.
Great, great. Well, there's a section in Best for Women. It's actually under welcoming new members, and it's called the orientation experience. One of the things it says about those who did receive an orientation, the majority of members who attended an orientation or participated in a program for new members had a positive onboarding experience, with nearly all expressing orientation was a good use of their time. They felt the experience was enjoyable and made them feel connected to Soroptimist. Nearly all of the new members said they know at least one person in the club they can turn to with concerns or questions. Those who did not receive an orientation, more than half of the total members surveyed did not attend an orientation or program for new members. About the same amount thought it would have been useful. The main reason was because one was not offered to them. However, 1/3 of the responders who did not have an orientation say they were already familiar with Soroptimist, indicating they felt an orientation was not necessary. So, awesome to those clubs that take the time to create a positive onboarding experience by providing an overview of Soroptimist's important work in the community and beyond. By presenting important information, you are instilling confidence in new members and providing reassurance they made the right choice when they decided to join the organization. So I think all of that is pretty important as well. Thank you both. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry we had trouble with your camera, Lynn, and with my computer.
Not as sorry as I am.
I understand that. So let's move on to welcoming new members. Now, On the SIA website, there's a drop-down menu for members. And then there's one that's actually, after you go to that, called Welcome New Members. And it's very short. There are 6 short sections. The first part is just thanking you for joining women of all ages, cultures, and ethnic groups who work together to provide women and girls access to the education and training they need to achieve economic empowerment. And from there, it goes on with a video that says, get to know your SIA president. And currently, of course, Sue Rainey is the video there. So you go to that. Next, you go to Get to Know Us. It's called Our Impact. And a snippet of that is, together we are helping women and girls live their dreams by investing in education. Then on to organizational videos. And by the way, what I didn't say is each section has a site you can go to that gives them more information. So this is a good tool to be giving to your, or going through with your new members as well. So there are organizational videos discussing the impact of DREAM programs and local work from our clubs around the world. And there are videos there. Then there is the one most of us are familiar with, Soroptimist 101. That is a fabulous tool. And it's basically everything you need to know about Soroptimists. And there's a PDF with that so that new members can flip through there and get a different way of getting the information. Also, a section on how our contributions are used. A Soroptimist relies on gifts from clubs, members, and other supporters to fund its life-changing DREAM programs. And then there are a number of different sites you can go to from there. So all of these are helpful tools. Again, it's just short, and you can give them a view of in a snippet. They can spend as much or as little time as they want to on that, exploring through there. Now, next, we're going to go to Keeping the Balance. It's a guide for clubs. It's also on SIA. And it talks about how much work it is to build and maintain a successful club. You need passionate, energetic women, viable programs, and you need to maintain a high profile in the community. Of course, you need to have a realistic budget to sustain growth and manage fundraising. A successful Soroptimist Club is a balance of all these components, enabling us to help women and girls across the world every day. Now, there is a tool that you could perhaps have already gone through, so I'm going to refer to it again. Remember, I will be sending this to you. But it gives scenarios, and then it gives you some choices. So club scenario, for instance, where someone says, our current club president has served for more than 2 years as president, or has been a president or an officer of the club in prior years. And then there's a true false. And it says, if you answered true, try writing clear position descriptions for all leadership positions, and consider sharing responsibilities so that one person does not shoulder too much responsibility. An example of that can be, we currently have co-presidents. We have committees that have co-chairpersons. So they're sharing the load, and that makes it not only easier for each, but also, that old two heads are better than one. Sometimes by collaborating, you come up with even better things. Again, on that scenario, develop a strategy to attract new members to leadership roles. It's that succession that we all try to constantly work on to encourage newer members or members who haven't been in leadership roles to think about moving up. So that's one. And then these resources also give you places to go. Contact your region membership chair for help. In the SAIA website, there's a tip section on identifying and nurturing successors. So all of this information that, again, I will send you is here, and we just need to use it. And remember that we have the help right here on our websites. Another question was, our club treasurer has served in the same office for more than 2 consecutive years. Is it true or false? If you answered true, discuss the role of the treasurer and write clear position descriptions. Develop a succession plan and establish a mentoring program to assist in that succession. Consider having co-treasurers in order to ease responsibilities. Many have a treasurer that's service or general fund, and that seems to be one way to alleviate the burden of doing both. Again, under resources, contact your region membership chair, and SIA website under find a helpful guide and calendar on the club administration website. So that is helpful there as well. I will give you one more. Our club has not realized an increase in members for one entire year or has realized a net decrease in membership for 2 consecutive years. And if that was a true false, if that was a true, it's encouraging you to evaluate the culture of your club. Are your meetings held at a convenient time and location? Do you have engaging guest speakers? Are new members given the appropriate introduction to the club? Does your club offer a welcoming atmosphere for new members? And those are good questions to spend that time evaluation. Then go on to develop a plan of action to attract new members. Contact your region membership chair on how to learn how you can revive recruitment efforts and improve retention, and host recruitment events throughout the year. And I know many of us do that. And there is a section on the SIA website for help, membership resources and information, and the member and club campaign website. There are tools and templates there. So keep that in mind and use these tools. That's really what I want to be sharing with you today, us to be sharing with you today, is that there are tools here for us. And you may or may not be using them, or you may just need a refresher. Our next one is, I know it seems I'm rushing, but I want to keep it to an hour. I promise. So our next one is the Member and Leader Code of Conduct. So this is fairly new out of SIA 2025, I believe. And it describes our expectations of ourselves, articulates our ideals, and defines the behaviors that guide our organization. The purpose of this code is to instill confidence in how we carry out SIA business by establishing an organization-wide understanding of appropriate behavior. Embracing the code can advance our work individually and collectively, and will also assist us in making wise decisions. So there are 5 points to this. I'm not going to read through them all, but I'm going to refer to them. And that way you'll have an idea of what you're looking for. So the first one is vision and applicability. As Soroptimists, we are committed to doing what is right and honorable. We set high standards for ourselves, and we aspire to meet these standards in all aspects of our lives at work, home, and in our service to our respective professions. This member leader code of conduct describes our expectations of ourselves, articulates our ideals, and defines the behaviors expected in our organization. And the persons to who this code applies, well, all of us, all of them. The second one is responsibility. Responsibility is our commitment to take ownership of the decisions we make or fail to make, the actions we take or fail to take, and the consequences that result. I don't know about you, but I blow it all the time. And for me, accountability is a big one. And I work really hard to be able to say, I blew it, or I'm late on this and I'm sorry. Life happens. None of us likes to miss deadlines or not be on time with things, but at least for me, it does happen. When we make errors or omissions, we take ownership and make corrections promptly. When we discover errors or omissions caused by others, we alert the individual or individuals as soon as possible. We accept accountability for any issues resulting from our errors or omissions or any resulting consequences. We inform ourselves and uphold the policies, rules, regulations, and laws that govern our work and volunteer activities. Then there's respect. The description of respect is our commitment to show high regard for ourselves, others, and the resources entrusted to us. These resources may include people, money, reputation, the safety of others, and informational resources. An environment of respect engenders trust, confidence, and performance excellence by fostering collaboration. An environment where diverse perspectives and views are encouraged and valued. And there's lots more to read there, but I won't do it here. Fairness. Fairness is our commitment to make decisions and act impartially and objectively. Our conduct must be free from competing self-interest, presentation, and favoritism. Talks about demonstrating transparency, which we, of course, hear a lot in the government and politics these days, but it also applies to us. Re-examining our impartiality and our objectivity. So there's a lot of good stuff there as well. Honesty. Description of honesty. Honesty is our responsibility to understand the truth and act transparently in our communications and conduct. And that's, I think, is pretty self-explanatory for that one. Leadership. Leadership is a set of positive behaviors that help members align with SIA's mission, vision, core values, and strategic objectives. We practice proper use of authority and decorum. We do not exercise individual authority over SIA, its regions, clubs, or members. And we support the decisions set forth by our elected leadership. So those are all the points that they make in these 5 points. Now there is a new thing, I guess I call it, which is a member and leader code of conduct escalation process. So I've written on this page, but you can sort of see there are 3 columns. And the first one is personality conflicts. Second is governance grievances. And the third is severe violations. And these all go up, for here, personality, direct conversation. So they all have a next step. And then eventually it can go into a committee, which is new. And some of you have signed up to be on that, a review a committee for reviewing whatever the issues are, whichever one of those three areas they fall under. And it can go all the way to the top, and someone can actually be terminated from or suspended from our organization. So those are extremes, believe me. Nobody wants to go there. But we have a process if we need it. And so it's very well outlined in the way that it describes the process and the steps it follows. So I encourage you to take a look at that when I send it to you as well. Moving on to surveys. So we have a new member, a current member, and a resigning member survey, 3 different surveys. Now, the new member survey, it asks us things like you would expect. Do you feel welcome in our club? Did you attend an orientation session? Have you attended a board meeting, which is a requirement for many? Have you participated in a club project yet? Has the club met your initial expectations? And rating from excellent to very poor, orientation, programs and meetings, your acceptance by other members, your level of involvement, your enjoyment of club activities. So these are some basic questions, but it would be really nice with new members if we could get that feedback. And you would have to decide when is the right time to do that. Do you want to do it right away, right after your orientation? Do you want to wait a month? It's really up to you. But it gets those early responses from them that can help us be better at onboarding our new members. So that is available. We also have a club assessment tool, which covers our current clubs. You can use it at any time, and it talks about categories here and then has different questions. So for instance, volunteer activity importance, and then on a scale from 1 to 6, you agree, disagree, that kind of thing. It does have things like providing valuable Soroptimist mission focused services that directly help women and girls, have regular meetings with other members to plan upcoming activities, incorporating a sense of fun. How often do we put that into our goal of each meeting? So there are a number of them that goes to letter M. Each one is different, but letter M is infusing a sense of formality and decorum. Number 2, satisfaction with your club. A few things that you might expect has become an important part of my life. Gives me a real sense of accomplishment in the mission-focused services that we provide. So those are things, again, from a scale to 6, agree to disagree. The next one, meeting satisfaction. So we delve into how are our meetings and how much are we getting out of them? The club provides varied and interesting programs. Guests are properly introduced, following agenda, friendly atmosphere, things like that. Then evaluation of your club. How well is the club doing on a scale from 1 to 6? Raises significant funds for Soroptimist mission-driven projects. Has regular meetings with members to plan upcoming initiatives. Offers opportunities for individuals to receive awards for a job well done. And is very welcoming and makes me feel as though I belong. So there are a lot there as well. Then we have a section called wishes and frustrations. And this is how much do you agree that the following statements describe any wishes or frustrations that you may feel toward our club? Again, scale of 1 to 6. The leaders of my club allow me to be as active in the club as I desire. Sufficient protections exist to ensure club funds are used properly. Mentoring is available to members who desire it. Welcomes diversity in our membership. Embraces technology whenever possible. Other comments? What is one specific thing that our club could do to improve your membership experience? And as technology provides more opportunities for having tech-based meetings via conference call, they have Skype on here, FaceTime webinars or other technology, would you want to participate in meetings via technology online instead of face-to-face? And then there are some options there. So it's quite complete. You could design it any way that you want, but there's a great framework there that you can use to help get a pulse on your membership. You know, we talk to members, but are we really hearing those kind of specific questions? So it's really good for us currently. And then we have a resigning member questionnaire. Now, this is helpful for us to understand when someone's leaving, what is making them do that. Of course, it's always good to have that conversation and meet with them if you can, but this is helpful as well. Why are you leaving our club? You know, good question number one there. Relocating to a new community, competing priorities, financial constraints. My expectations for networking were not met. I do not feel included. So there are some real choices there. Did you feel comfortable sharing ideas and concerns with club members? If no, why not? Club leaders had so many responsibilities that I did not want to burden them. They had their own agenda and were not interested in other ideas. I was not a member long enough to feel comfortable approaching club leaders. I did not want to be perceived as a complainer. So those, I think, are pretty things that we've heard from time to time. Satisfied, dissatisfied, level, asks about the level of involvement. Sometimes we find people who don't get involved still feel like they're outsiders. And we talk about, excuse me, we talk about wanting to have people involved. It is a two-way street. Excuse me. We definitely want to have them involved, find out what they want to do, what they think they'd be good at and enjoy. But they also need to step up too. And so they need to do their part to get involved. And that's how the way we treat them and make them feel welcome makes a difference. So there are 2 pages, front and back. This is a questionnaire that I will send to you as well. I would encourage you to use all of these if you can. If you have the time, maybe assign it to a particular committee or a president-elect or something like that, where you can keep a pulse on new members, current members, resigning members, because that helps us know where we stand, and that helps us to know where to improve, because we always want to be improving. There was also for the, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, our club does the club assessment survey
Good.
in midway through the year, like in January. So we still have time to make course corrections. Um, you know, in case members are disgruntled or they're dissatisfied, so we can have time to make course corrections so that those members will feel better and will renew their membership at the end of the year. If we wait until the end of the year to do the survey, then those members have already decided they're not going to renew.
You're right. You're right. And I think in general, taking that temperature, if you will, of the members halfway through the year is a great idea. And this is a great tool for that. And I'm glad to hear you using it. That's wonderful. Have you had pretty good, helpful feedback on it?
Yes, we have actually. We had a couple of our newer members say that the people the committees that they were on um, that their new ideas were not really being considered, and so that gave that gave our president a chance to take the committee chairs aside and say, don't shut down every new idea. I mean, you know, if it's not going to be that idea is not going to be followed through on or considered for a very good reason, then that's one thing. But if it's just because that person's making a suggestion that changes the way we've been doing things for 10 years, then that's not really a good reason. So you need to give it some more thought.
That's great. That's great. And I'm glad you.
And that member has the member we do all of our surveys anonymously. We don't ask people to put their names on them. But then when we do the survey again, like a little later at the end of the year, we get this. I was the that person that wrote the comment saying that they were upset at the end of the year survey. They said I was upset earlier, but something happened to change, and now I feel better about my membership. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's hard and fast evidence that taking that temperature of your club works. Good job. That's great. That's great. And then there is also an administrative guide for this as well. If you're into draft, you can see it right there in black and white. And we all absorb information differently, so it's good to take advantage of that. But yes, I'm glad to hear that you're using it. That's awesome. And that it's working. Excellent. Okay, so we are getting towards the end of our hour. One of the things that I would encourage you to take some time on is the roadmap. And I think that you've heard a lot about the roadmap and how to follow it. There is a metrics 2025, 2026 on SIA, and it's a lot of good information that very succinctly tells you how to be successful, how to measure your success. And basically the metrics are designed to track club's progress in the following club roadmap, which information is there. It's a guide to help achieve the goals outlined in the SIA strategic plan. So it's right there for us. There is in one section of when you look up the metrics, that is an old version on SIA, so you have to find the new one, which is the 2025, 2026. I'll let them know that's still there. But it's, your goals increasing a 96% or better retention rate, add new members to your club, have 10% of your club members attend leadership roundtable. So those are very specific, measurable guidelines for us to strive for. So I will send that to you as well. Let's use that. At this point, I'd love to have any questions. I'd love to have any more feedback. And I'd love to have you all chime in and help each other the answers, because I certainly don't know everything. So I always appreciate others' help on this. So anybody want to jump in?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, back to the last segment we did, when you are doing the evaluations, are you sending those electronically or are you printing them out and handing them out to every member at club?
You can do it however you think will work best. I think it's good to do it during a club meeting. If you do it electronically, or maybe you do both. If you do it electronically, you run the risk of not getting it back. As
Thank
far as a new member or a member who's leaving, you could do it electronically. Again, you may or may not get it back. With a member who is leaving, they may not take the time to do the survey and get it back. So that would be one I'd encourage, if you can, to do in person.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, I will assume there's no other questions at this time. Again, if you want, if I don't have your email address through registration, you can text me your email address. My phone number is 805-218-4322. And feel free to do that. I will be sending all of this information out. And if after you start to look at it and have questions, then feel free to reach out to me then as well. I really appreciate you coming. I know we ran through a lot of information, and it was, how do I say it, more utility information. And it's important to know that we have these resources, to know where they are and be able to get our hands on them. Sometimes we can, I don't know about you, but I can get lost in the black hole of one site or another and forget what I went there for. So if you at least have these resources in your hand, you'll know how to find them. You'll know where they are. And I hope that will be helpful for you. And again, I appreciate you coming. And probably one of the most valuable things I think that we went over today was the orientation information, because I think that's a fabulous work that they have done a great job on, and I hope you'll be able to find some nuggets in there.
Thank you, Holly, and I appreciate you doing this. I hope that we can do it again. Just looking at the chat really quick, I know you said you were going to share some of that information. Can you also share the links where you got the resources at SIA? If you have that link, I know Babette, I think, put some in there too. So I appreciate that, Babette. Thank you for that. Any of the links shared in the emails you can't access while on Zoom. We are going to mail them out. If you mail me a copy, I will get it scanned so we have it on our Google Drive as well.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So that's very easy for me to do. So if anybody missed this, we also have the recording of today's session, and we'll try to put that up on our YouTube channel as well. And I'll have the documents there too. So does that work for everyone? Thumbs up, yay. All right. All right. Well, again, thank you guys. I appreciate your time, and I hope we can do this again.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.